Hi, little learners, and good afternoon. Since not everybody was able to get online today, I thought I would come on live and take my take my adventures online and then send to my friends who were not able to join us. So today's story for digital learning was Yetis Are the Worst by Alex Willen. And it says here at the bottom that this same author is the author of Unicorns Are the Worst. And we're going to read at the end about how Alex also is the illustrator. So not only did Alex come up with the words as the author, he also came up with the illustrations. And what a cool book this is. So let's see if we can scoot it over just a hair and make sure that you can see the whole thing. All right, let's begin. Yetis are the worst. And I said it like that because there is an exclamation point, which means I get to say it with passion. So, my friend Gilbert, who we're going to meet, thinks that Yetis are the worst. There are a lot of cool things I really like about this book. Yetis are the worst. There are so many great details that every time you read this story, you might see another detail that gives you more understanding and ideas about what Alex wanted us to know about the story. So the first preview page has some footprints. So if you don't know what a Yeti is yet, you're going to have an idea that it must be pretty big because it's creating these indents in the snow. Yetis Are the Worst by Alex Willen. And all of the details I'm talking about are these labels. It says Gilbert's secret hideout. And I'm going to assume that this is Gilbert because he is hiding. And that matches the signs above his door. And it says, top secret. Nothing to see here. Keep out. Shh. And then we have this little box that says, psst, over here. And also a dedication, which I think is super, super cool. So Alex wrote this story and it says, for my dad. And it's published by Scholastic Incorporated. And you guys may have Scholastic books in your own classroom. And it looks like when I am streaming here, it's just a little taller. So here we go. All right. We're going to call this a graphic novel. A graphic novel is a book that has pictures with little voice boxes. Okay? Not all of the pages are like that, but lots of kids, especially boys, sometimes will say that they don't like to read, but they will enjoy a graphic novel. The short little stories told in pictures. Did you know that we goblins can be quite secretive? Secretive. What a big word. And now we know that Gilbert is a goblin. We lurk in the shadows. When my class read this story, we talked about what the word lurk means. I see that Gilbert is back here in the back of the picture, nice and dark, watching this chicken go for his cookies. And I know they're Gilbert's cookies because the author took the time to label it and say, Gilbert's cookies. He is lurking or hiding in the shadows. We pop up in unexpected places, and we are masters of disguise. It's me, Gilbert. And yet, people seem to be intrigued by one curious creature more than any other. I love this ... I use it a lot when I'm in my classroom and I want students to elaborate on their writing. It means that something great is coming next. Gilbert used a lot of words that you might not know yet, like intrigued. Intrigued means I am interested in. And so Gilbert seems a little bit jealous to me that he thinks that we like something more than him. So, more than goblins, we like something else. And although we don't know what it is yet, technically, the title gave us a very big preview. He says Yetis! And there's that exclamation point again. So I get to say it with passion. And look at this very cool map that we drew. How many are there? Yeti plus hair dye equals Bigfoot? And I told my class when I was explaining to them what I think a Yeti is, basically, if you don't know what a Yeti is, but you know what Bigfoot is, Bigfoot's kind of like a bear and a person mixed in one. But a Yeti is a Bigfoot that lives somewhere that is cold and there's lots of snow. So instead of being brown, they are white. A chicken? Oh, excuse me. Is chicken in on it? So again, there's his friend chicken. What isn't he telling me? And up here in the mountains, and these little lines here show us that there are snow on these mountains. And remember, I said they live where it's cold and snowing. Yeti fascination on the rise in the Goblin Gazette. Do they make the snow? Are they made of snow? Gilbert has so many questions. I love all the questions he's asking that he hopes our book answers. And who do they answer to? So, in this book, we've got Troll Bridge, Gilbert's house, Unicorn Meadow, the food trucks, there's a dinosaur, the dragon cave, fancy Troll Bridge. And what's really, really cool about this author is this map is actually giving you a preview or an idea about other books that he has written. So all the things you find in this map, he has stories about. Maybe we'll get to explore some more of those later. Gilbert says, now I know what you are going to say. So he's saying that kind of sarcastically. Yetis are so cool, etc., etc. And mysterious. Oh, goodness. Etc. is kind of like the kids' way of saying blah, blah, blah. So you could think of so many things that are cool about Yetis, but Gilbert does not agree. So when we go to this next page, Gilbert says, but plenty of things are just as mysterious as Yetis. And he has this very cool file cabinet, and this folder says top secret. So in here are all the things that Gilbert thinks are super mysterious. And he has a whole file on Yetis. And then look, that giant map is up on his wall. I love, love, love the illustrations in this book. And if you get the opportunity to see it in person, you can check it out from the library like I did. And then you can take your time looking at all the cool details. You don't have to just read the words. So, Gilbert's list of most mysterious things. Like the tooth fairy. What does she do with all those teeth? My daughter has asked me that exact question. How about gnomes? How do they keep their hats so pointy? Peanut butter and banana sandwiches. Bread plus bananas, in Gilbert's opinion, equals deliciousness. I like to ask my friends, when I'm asking a question, you put your finger in the middle like this. That means you're getting ready to vote. Thumbs up if you think that peanut butter and banana sandwiches are delicious. Thumbs down if you think they're gross. Or in the middle if you haven't tried them or you're just like, blah, blah. I can take them or leave them. Now, in Gilbert's opinion, ready for this? The most mysterious thing. And of course, goblins. Now, why does Gilbert think that? Because Gilbert's a goblin. And so, of course, he thinks that they're the coolest, most mysterious things. How are they so clever? How are they always so fashionable? And what secrets lie behind those enchanting eyes? There is no way that Yetis are more mysterious than goblins, and I'm going to prove it. So that Gilbert sure is passionate. The only reason that people think Yetis are more mysterious is because no one has ever seen them. So that's what I'm going to do. Now take a look. It starts here with shh. Mountain this way. So see, he lives in the grass. Got a little bit of snow. And then here we have details. More mountain. Still more mountain. And look who's hiding behind Gilbert. I am going to find a Yeti and take their picture, thus proving that there's nothing mysterious about these fluffy mountain-dwelling behemoths. Behemoths is a word for giant creature. Look at me, oh, excuse me, look at that. Mere minutes into my search, and I have already spotted a Yeti. Do you think he spotted a Yeti? Yes? No? Or I don't know. And now to capture it on film. Proof of the so-called mysterious. And we've got a detail. Flash. He's taking a picture with a super cool Polaroid camera. Shrubbery? Oh man. So when his picture develops, he sees that it's just a tree with some branches and two bluebirds. Oh man. Okay. So that wasn't a Yeti. Not a problem. There is bound to be one around here somewhere. I just need to go further up the mountain. So take a look. Gilbert is facing us. But look who is behind his shrubbery. Oh dear. Aha! Now, that is definitely a Yeti. So what do you think he's going to do? We look over here. And flash, flash again. Still him. Still behind him. At long last, everyone will know the truth about Flash. An ice carving bunny. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd be pretty excited to see an ice carving bunny. But not Gilbert. He sounds disappointed. Now take a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Yetis behind Gilbert. And yet, forward he flashes. That's fine. I'm not upset. Tired? Sure. Freezing? Absolutely. But I am not leaving this mountain until I have found an actual Yeti. So, that people, far and wide, will finally know the truth about the very boring creature that is... Oh dear. Let's look at his Polaroids. A polar bear getting a makeover? A meditating mountain goat? A snowboarding unicorn in a puffy coat? Again, boys and girls, I don't know about you, but I think Gilbert's found some pretty cool things. But that's not what Gilbert's looking for. So take a look. He throws all his Polaroids up in the air in frustration. That's it! I give up! Why is it so hard to find one single Yeti on this whole mountain? I hope you boys and girls are laughing like I am, because behind Gilbert are more Yetis. Just one Yeti. Is that too much to ask for? Apparently it is. It is too much to ask for. And do you know why? So again, we have these three pictures. Because Yetis are the worst. Oh, his eyes are closed. But look at the Yetis. Look at the cool pictures that Gilbert took with his Polaroid camera. Oh no, boys and girls. Rumble. Rumble. Oh no. Or maybe it's uh-oh. Look at Gilbert's eyes. Look at his expression. Something ominous is coming. Ominous is a word for not good. Avalanche! Look at how Gilbert's, or the author, wrote that word in all capitals. That means it's a really big deal. And I said it with such expression, with that exclamation point. Gilbert is starting to run. You can tell he's running because his camera is up in the air, flying behind him. Run for your life! But before he can finish, Gilbert says, oof. And there again is another detail. Secret Yeti hideout. But the force of the avalanche has already broken the sign and is pushing Gilbert forward. An avalanche is when a lot of snow comes with such force that it knocks things over. It sounds really cool, but it's so strong that it breaks trees. So something like this little sign and Gilbert don't stand a chance. Gilbert starts to tumble and into the secret Yeti hideout. Oh, gracious. I think this page is so cool. So even though it looks like one great big page, if you look at the dark spots behind it, it's actually showing you that there are different rooms in the Yeti hideout. We have some Yetis playing instruments, a violin, or excuse me, I'm not actually sure what that instrument's called, but it's a fancy violin, a big violin. Someone will probably correct me in the comments. Playing the piano. This Yeti over here is making some pancakes and it says, "No place like home." That silly Yeti's reading the paper on the toilet going to the bathroom. This Yeti's reading a book. I like that one in the library. This Yeti's taking a nap. And these Yetis, who are holding Gilbert's photographs, his Polaroids, are watching him fall down deep into their hideout. Gulp, says Gilbert. Well, boys and girls, he found him the Yetis. But do you think he might be a little scared? Intimidated? He said gulp. That's why I think he might be having those feelings. One Yeti is holding his camera, while the others are holding his photos. Now, those Yetis look just as curious about Gilbert as Gilbert looks at them. They don't know what to think of the goblin. Look, did you know that Yetis like to take a selfie? It says flash. The Yeti is holding Gilbert the goblin. Like I said, Yetis aren't so mysterious. They are just a little shy. Well, that is, until they're not. And look at all the Polaroids. So all of these are photographs of Gilbert and the Yetis and all the fun they had. Now, in my classroom, when we were reading this story, we talked about what a Polaroid is. It's an instant type of photograph that was really popular years and years ago. So you might not be able to make a connection to it quite yet, but my children also have Polaroids. So I brought to show my class, and I will show you that you might be able to make a connection to one of these two. Some of you kids might have a camera that prints on this cool carbon paper, and they're black and white pictures. That's pretty similar to what a Polaroid is. Or there's a new age Polaroid. It doesn't have this rim around it like we used to have. We would take that rim and shake it, which made us think that the picture would turn out faster. And because it had all these chemicals that made it develop. New age Polaroids print regular photographs just like a printer does. But this is my son holding our cats, or my sons, excuse me, holding our cats, Figaro and Mittens, when we first got them using their Polaroid camera. So that's the new age Polaroid. The very last page talks about the author and some other stories that he's written. So if you enjoyed this story, you might look for his other stories. It says, if it was Alex Willen and not Gilbert the Goblin, who was in charge of writing the stories, he'd make a book called Anchovies Are the Worst. I would have to agree, boys and girls. Alex is the author illustrator of Unicorns Are the Worst, Dragons Are the Worst, and Jasper and Ollie series, as well as the illustrator of Got Your Nose, written by Alan Katz. Alex lives in Chicago with his dog Harley, who is the absolute best. And that brings us to the end of our first story. I hope you enjoyed reading Yetis Are the Worst. Come again another day and read along with me. Happy learning, little learners!